and welcome to Rolling with Two. I'm Will, and with me as always is the Hanna-Barbarian herself,
Sarah.
And today we're doing a two-player perspective and accessibility for Wacky Races, the board game. Deluxe Edition.
Mm-hmm.
That's important.
It is important.
Sarah, tell us a bit about this game.
All right. Wacky Races, the board game, puts players in the driver's seat with control of their favorite drivers from the cartoon series, each with their own car equipped with special abilities. They compete against each other as well as the game-controlled Dick Dastardly and Muttley. So in this simple yet strategic race game, you want to be the first to the finish line to win. All right, Will, so how does the game change for two players?
Okay, so for two players, there is a bot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a bot for all player counts. But specifically in a two-player count, when you activate the neutral racers, these are the ones you're racing against, you will do an additional activation for Dick Dastardly, the bot,
Yes.
at the end of their turn.
Right.
The only other real change of note is the fewer than 6 players you are, the more neutral racers you also have to control their bots for.
Right. You always play with 6 racer cars.
Plus Dick Dastardly.
Plus Dick Dastardly. That is a mouthful.
For a 2-player game, you have 4 neutral nanobots and 1 Dastard nanobot.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
It does.
That's a lot of nanobots.
Yeah, that really is.
All right.
Okay, so issues at the 2-player count. Well, because there's so many bots, your chances of winning are kind of slim. Because, well, Dick Dastardly can never win, but he is going to mess up everybody's, day. But if you're playing at 2 players, you've got 4 non-player characters to try to beat. And in one of our 2 games, neither of us won.
Nanobot was the winner.
Nanobot was the winner. That doesn't feel very good in a non-cooperative game. If it was cooperative.
You don't like Nanobot?
And Nanobot could win considering how much work it was. And that's actually the other downside.
Yeah, Nanoman was like racing 4 other racers.
Yeah.
Talk about the work. He put it in.
So that's the other downside of the 2-player count. Well, you've got a lot of things to move around the board that aren't yours, and it doesn't feel good.
Well, it feels confusing.
It's very confusing. It's like, in most games, you're just dealing with your own thing, and maybe like something that happens at the end of the round you help out with.
Yeah.
But here,
and I think that's what Dick Dastardly is.
And that's what Dick Dastardly is, that's fine. But when you've got 4 other racers, you can split it. If you have 2 people who are fully sighted and can see everything that's going on, you could be then, okay, first person has 2 bots, the other person has 2 bots. But the problem is, and we'll get into this with the accessibility, with us, I'm doing everything. So we'll talk about that in a moment. The one thing it does really well at 2 players, it is quick.
Yeah.
You don't have other people doing stuff.
Yeah, those chaos factors. Because a player has special abilities that make them asymmetric. The neutral racers don't.
Correct.
So they're not going to pull crazy shenanigans. So the only other one you have to worry about is the other player and Dick Dastardly.
Right. So moving all the neutral racers, they all happen all at the same time, and it's like real super fast. So that's a good thing. That's fast. All right, accessibility. So the movement cards are all art. So those with severe vision issues are going to have challenges. And, for me, they were also hard to just identify because there's no icons. So didn't really have that at a glance. And I got confused with the desert and the prairie constantly.
Yes.
Now,
desert is orange and prairie is
like a tan. Now, yes, if you're just relying on colors, it's fine. But when you're trying to communicate with someone who can't see it, I have to say the right thing. And if I'm constantly getting confused and saying that's a desert when it's actually a prairie or vice versa, he's going to think, well, then I can't move or I can move or, it's wrong information. So it's hard when you can't remember what something is because it doesn't seem distinct. That's the problem.
They give no name on the card
it's not even
or
on
the tile.
Card. Yeah, it's only in the rule book where it actually identifies what they are. And for me, the art between those 2 cards just is not that distinct for me.
Yeah.
The other thing that's actually kind of weird about this deluxe version, we have fully painted Cars, which look great.
Yeah.
Except, at a glance information, I frequently move the wrong car. Because in the retail version, they're each a solid color. So they're easier to identify by color than something that's fully painted. You actually really need to examine it.
Of course, the funny thing is that actually might put people with colorblind issues on the same level as everyone else.
True.
Because they're constantly trying to look for detail.
Yeah.
And so they can't rely on the at a glance, oh, that's that solid color.
Now, again, the racers are highly uniquely shaped, but when you've got 6 of them, and for me, I was not moving one. I was moving all of them. It is highly easy to get confused. Probably most
You're
people,
like, they're just a bunch of weirdos.
If you're playing 6 players, then the only non-player thing that you have to move is Dick Dastardly, and everybody can share that. So your mileage may vary on, again, vision issues if you're, having trouble or not having trouble. So that's the other thing is mobility. You are moving the cars around a lot. So in the lower player counts, if you have problems with your hands or grabbing things down,
reaching across
the table, I think was probably the biggest issue we had. So let's just be aware of that. Again, more players is probably a little better. So what it does right, it is mostly open-handed, and even with your secret can't talk secret hand of cards, it doesn't really matter if they're secret or not. I just...
You have 3 cards at any given time, and what they are will either help you or they won't.
And someone else knowing that doesn't help them at all, because you can't do anything directly to other players.
Right.
It's not Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So the good news is the cars are big and easy to move. It's just you're going to be moving them a lot. And the game is easy to learn, easy to play. So yeah.
All right. For 2 players then, would you recommend this game?
No, not at all. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. The speed and pace at which this game moves means that you're constantly dealing with the minutia more than the fun.
Yes.
And so therefore, 2 players is not a great experience for this game.
Mm-mm.
Accessibility.
I think mostly yes. Unless you have severe vision issues like Will, and even then, you were able to play with my help of it.
Yeah.
But you won't be able to play independently.
Right.
With it. So, but besides that, I think most people are going to be fine.
Yeah, there was a lot of instances where it's like, I don't like their choice here, but it never stopped me from playing.
Right.
So accessibility is fine for the most part.
Agreed.
All right, that will do it for us. And Sarah,
yes,
did you ever have any childhood memories of Wacky Races?
Very little. This was not one that I watched much, but I do remember Muttley. And I don't know if it's actually from Wacky Races or when he showed up.
In other cartoons?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what other cartoons.
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, but I didn't watch a whole lot of Scooby-Doo either. But I remember that sniggering Muttley.
Yeah.
That's what I remember the most. Other than that, not a whole lot.
For me, it was a case where the cartoon came out at a weird time.
Okay.
So it was rare that I got the chance to watch it. But when I got to watch it, I was at such a young age that it was like, this is better than the Olympics. This is a moment in which we all have to gather around and watch to see just who is the superior racer, because this is epic on the next level.
All right. I'm sorry this game didn't work out too well for us.
That's true. I like the characters, though.
Yes.
Those are cute.
Yes.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us. And why would you ever roll with just one when you can be
rolling with 2?
And remember, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out to us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with 2. That's TWO. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And on YouTube, please like and subscribe.
And if you have time, check out the other content Nanaman has found for you, because remember, he's rolling with you.